Recently, Tom Brady's Buccaneers jersey has been a high seller, but it wasn't enough to make him the most popular player in merchandise sales. According to the league, that honor for last season, well, it belongs to Patrick Mahomes. Shannon, your guy. So what does it tell you?
Tell me what I've been telling Skip. I've been preparing Skip this day for the last 3 years. I say my homeboy is coming, and there's nothing you or your guy can do about it. It's just a matter of time. He's now officially the face of the NFL, the best player, and it's over. Even after your guy goes to a different team, and they buy jerseys like candy bars, my guy, Patrick Mahomes, is the face of the NFL, Skip Bayless. Deal with it. About to be back-to-back Super Bowl champs, too.
Oh, really? Shannon Sharp.
Yep.
Just give me a month until next month's numbers come out, and your guy's going to be dethroned once again. Tom Brady is still the face of the NFL. Tom Brady is still all anybody wants to hear and read about. The idea, the very concept, the shocking notion of Tom Brady in a pewter Bucs jersey, number 12, is so incomprehensible that people are going to buy them like candy bars and hotcakes. You know and I know that it's just a matter of time before Tom Brady is back in the saddle as the #1 merchandise producer in the National Football League.
I tell you what, he won't be back in the saddle as the best player in the NFL, as the best quarterback in the NFL. He won't be back in that saddle. He might sell a few more jerseys. Okay, I'll concede that. But the one thing he will not be is the best quarterback in the NFL. That is officially over. We put that to bed. Now, good night, everyone.
Yeah, Mahomes is lucky that he's now in the NFC. That's all I got to say.
Save it for tomorrow, guys. That is it for Undisputed. Thank you for joining us. We will be back same time tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The Herd is coming up next. Have a great day, everyone. With motivating Jordan to release this documentary right now.
He heard those footsteps. And for the very first time, he had heard those footsteps because they had been asking Michael to do this for an extended period of time, and he kept rebuffing their offers. It wasn't until, this is what they said, now if it's a lie, they told it. It wasn't until the parade in Cleveland in 2016, that during the parade, Jenny, not before the season, not when he was in Miami, not during the parade, because for the very first time, we had a guy that beat a 73-win team, which had one more win than the 96 Bulls. They had a unanimous MVP, and they were down 3-1. And we started to hear the swells, something that we had never heard before. We had never heard Kobe in the GOAT debate with Mike. It wasn't until all of a sudden somebody got mad. I won't mention his name, but he's in his palatial estate up in Century City. One Skip Bayless tried to rebuff me, and when I started saying GOAT James, then all of a sudden you want to throw Kobe in there and say Kobe above. Yeah, you. Now all of a sudden, Skip, they said, if you ask a particular thing, you ask the who, the what, the where, the why, then you'll have your answer. We know who the who is. We know what the what is. And now we know why. LeBron James was running, and he had gained, and people had started to say, I don't know, Skip. I know what Michael was, but we'd never seen anything like this. A guy that leads in points, rebounds, steals, and assists in a finals. A guy that, what? How is that possible? And for the very first time, because this is what we know about all-time great players or people, their legacy is very important to them, especially if you cannot add or take away from it. LeBron James was still building this mosaic. He's still building on it, Skip. Now, I believe, even though he's not finished, I've seen enough of this to say he's the GOAT. You're going to disagree, but you know why he did it, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself because you told me for the longest time, this is so beneath Michael. You think he's worried about LeBron? You think he's worried about this? I absolutely think he's worried about GOAT James.
Shannon Sharp, I sat in this very chair in my humble abode way down the hill from you in Century City. You're way up the hill from me in that palatial estate, coming to us from the wine cellar up there in Bel Air. Wow. I can't compete with that, but LeBron cannot compete with Michael Jordan, and I'm going to tell you why. You're right about this. I sat right here on Friday, and I told you that the number one reason Michael finally agreed to do this was he got sick and tired of hearing Shannon Sharp talking about LeBron James is the GOAT. And I also told you, and we're going to talk about this later, but I mentioned this to you on Friday. I gave you two reasons. And the second reason was Michael is so sick and tired of hearing people like me bring up the fact that he's the worst GM and team builder in the history of pro basketball, because in the 14 years he has run the Charlotte franchise as the basketball man, as the Jerry Krause, they've made the playoffs 3 times in 14 years and have yet to win a single playoff series. And they're woeful again this year, and they're not going to make the playoffs if, in fact, we have any playoffs. So that would be 15 years. So my point to you was, yes, I didn't know this detail that you bring up until yesterday when I read Ramona Shelburne on ESPN.com write that this producer of this documentary broke through on the day of the parade in 2016 when LeBron had come all the way back from 3-1 down against the Golden State Warriors, thanks in large part to the suspension of Draymond Green, but I won't go there right now. And the point was he had done it with Kyrie hitting the last shot to win Game 7. So Michael finally relented after so many big, like, star filmmakers. Spike Lee had tried to do a documentary on LeBron, but LeBron finally signed off because this producer had done the Allen Iverson documentary. And I believe it was a 30 for 30 on ESPN. And Michael said, man, I love that. And I watched it 3 times. So suddenly on parade day in 2016, at that point, Michael was 53 years of age. He's now 57 years of age. I think it hit him. I got to fight fire with fire. I'm not on social media. That's beneath me. I'm not going to do Instagram. I'm not going to do Twitter. I'll do this one and only documentary. I'm going to do an epic documentary that is now supposed to be 10, as we know, 10 episodes. So he said, I'm going to do it in one fell swoop, and I'm going to sign off on all that behind-the-scenes footage that the NBA was allowed to shoot and keep in its archives off 97, 98 that hadn't seen the light of day, and yet Adam Silver and Michael had a deal in place whereby it would never see the light of day until both agreed it was okay. So not until 2016 did Michael sign off on it. And not until right now did Michael sign off on releasing it. And Shannon, all I can say is I now fully expect retaliation from LeBron. Remember 2 weeks ago, LeBron was talking about, he was talking about, I'm going to do some kind of video talking about all my highlights. Well, don't you think that was a preemptive strike at this? Don't you think there's a possibility that maybe by next week, we'll hear that Space Jam 2, the release date has been pushed completely into this coming week, and maybe it's going on Netflix? LeBron's going to have to fight back now because he's getting crushed by this. So, yes, I believe hugely that Michael just being sick and tired of all the LeBron talk because he can't stomach it motivated him to do this documentary.
And you said, and what Michael did, Skip, he's like you said, he's not on social media. He's not giving a whole lot of interviews. He says, here, watch this, and then get back to me. Skip, when I say Kobe, look, the thing is with Kobe is a historically great player. You could arguably say he's top 10, top 5, whatever you want to rank him. But it's hard to say that he's the GOAT when everything he did, he stole from Mike. You don't get to steal somebody else's everything, from the armband to the way he walked to the way he talked to every mannerism that Michael had, and be in the GOAT and be the GOAT. LeBron did it a totally different way. Like I said, Magic. LeBron has always been more Magic Johnson than Michael Jordan. Michael came into the league, Skip, and even Rod Thorne said, hell, if we'd have had the first pick, we was taking Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon was universally regarded as the best pick in that draft, Skip. And at that time, think about it, Skip, you went from Russell to Chamberlain to Kareem. Everybody wanted a 7-footer, especially if he was skilled, because they was winning the championship. It was the big, you had to have a big man. The big man was winning the championship, Skip. So they were going to go with Olajuwon. It just, like you said, it just so happened the two tallest men in the draft, Skip, went 1-2. They're like, oh, we stuck with Jordan. What a nice consolation prize. The third pick, Skip, the bronze medal is Michael Jordan. That's what you got. You didn't get the gold and silver. You got the bronze. But, Skip, Michael is well aware. Michael will never admit this, but he's well aware of what people say and how he's viewed. And his legacy is the ultimate importance, because the thing is, Skip, when you're done, you're done. There's no more adding. There's no more subtracting. So this is why Tom Brady's continue to play. Tom Brady would love to have that all-time passing touchdown, because, Skip, look how long he'll keep it. If Drew Brees only plays one more year, Tom Brady plays 2 years, he ends his career with 500